You know, one thing that'll never die? The art of storytelling. Welcome to my channel. You're probably not new. But if you are, my name is Megan, and this is my safe place to discuss all things mystical, spiritual, and creepy. Where I live lately, it has been so windy and gray and cloudy, and I don't know what it is about windy days, specifically in the desert, that like stirs up the energy. There is something about it that invokes this mysticism within me. Like, I feel closer to the spirits. Recently, we had a full-on power outage for hours because of the wind. I'm gonna insert a picture of that because it was a vibe, it really was. And I've been wanting to share these types of stories for so long. I've got a number up my sleeve. So get comfortable. You're gonna hear a series of sounds. Crackling sounds, gushes of wind, animals whining, and probably some loud ass cars because that's just where I live, so. Can you hear that wind? Clearly, I'm not able to start a fire, but I've got a little ambiance going for y'all and for myself. I'm gonna show you a clip of that too. I thought the smells would give me a headache, but it's not. It's actually quite nice. So, have you ever had a paranormal experience where it seems in your head in the moment, or you're trying to explain it and rationalize it, but then you speak it out loud to someone and it gets validated and confirmed? Because that's exactly what happened to me years ago. I don't think this person watches my channel. If either of them do, hi. I don't know about you, but for me, I started off my high school career in a really peppy, cliquey high school. It was just like feeling like totally out of sorts and alone, and someone working at that school recommended that I try this other school that she went to and graduated from. She's like, I can see what's happening here and I think you would do really good there. And I ended up switching high schools in junior year, I think. And I finally felt happy and good and normal, and like I was able to make friends. It was just way better, way better. And I made 2 good friends there. And we, the 3 of us, had a sleepover at one of our friends' house. For the sake of storytelling, I'm gonna name these friends Heather and Alice, okay? Because those are the only names I'm gonna be able to remember for this. Alice and I were staying at Heather's house for a sleepover. And we did all the things. We made snacks, hung out, talked, watched movies, laughed, all that stuff, okay? Typical sleepover. You could kind of tell that house was older, but nothing too out of the ordinary. And Heather, who lived there, she had like a full house. She had a lot of family members living there, so it felt kind of like full in that way. That's how I grew up through a lot of my youth, was with family like that. So it was just comfortable. It was fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. She had animals, and in that way it felt really comfortable, you know? As it got later at night, we put on a movie. I don't remember if we put on a scary movie at first, and Heather couldn't handle the scary movie, so we ended up putting on something lighter. That way everyone was comfortable. And I'm sorry if I got any details wrong. This is genuinely how I remember it. When something so out of the ordinary happens, some little details get blurred. It's just like the event that kind of sticks in your mind after so many years. And anyways, we had to divide up a little bit. 2 of us would be able to sleep on the waterbed that she had. 1 of us would have to be on the floor. So Alice volunteered to go on the floor, right in front of the TV. So it's like bed, floor, TV. And the last thing I remembered being awake was watching the TV, all 3 of us. And clearly I fell asleep. Now, in the middle of the night, I woke up for some reason, some way, somehow, I woke up out of my sleep, facing the TV. And I remember lifting my head up towards the TV, right where Alice would have been. And in my face, up close, like I'm talking in my face, was a face smiling, like really smiling at me, like quite the smile. And because it was so dark in there and the light from the TV was on, the face looked blue, like bluish. It straight up looked like a blue smiling face in my face. And my brain putting it together while waking up was like, oh, maybe since Alice was on the ground right there, like it was like literally like right where Alice would have been, I was like, oh, we used to always laugh and be the goofy, silly ones and like laugh nonstop. So I was like, oh, maybe I fell asleep watching this movie and she's like playing a joke on me, going to my face, smiling like, hello, you fell asleep. Like that's literally what I pieced together in my mind. That's what made sense to me because that's where she was, right? Like that's just what makes sense. And it was real, it happened. And so I just literally fell back asleep. Like I woke up, saw a smiling face in my face. It looked kind of bluish. And I fell back asleep. Like, has that ever happened to you where you're waking up but you just cannot stay awake and you fall back asleep? So in the morning, you know, we wake up, we start up breakfast and everything. Everything's fine and dandy. But I mentioned to my friends, I told them exactly what happened. I said, you know, I fell asleep, the TV was on, I woke up and I saw like something smiling in my face and I thought it was Alice. I thought maybe she was just laughing at me or something. I thought maybe I was snoring or something and she's just being silly, but I fell back asleep. But it looked kind of blue, like the face looked blue, and I thought maybe it's just the TV reflecting off your face or something. And two reactions happened here, okay? Alice was like, no, Megan, I did not smile in your face. That did not happen. Second reaction happening at that same moment was Heather, the one that lives there, freaking out. Like genuine cry, fear. She was like, no, Megan, no. No, don't say that, no. Because she's the one who's too scared to watch a scary movie, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I was like, why? What's wrong? And she was like, and she said, because my sister saw the same thing in my closet. You mean like a blue smiling face? Yeah. And then she goes on to explain how her house is so haunted, but she's not into that. Like she does not dig the paranormal, creepy, spooky, none of that is too much. No, thank you. So I guess it's something she didn't really want to acknowledge or talk about, understandably so. She explained to us how her grandmother who lived in that house would call them the gremlins, because of how the activity would stir up at night. Just like how like the gremlins, when you feed them after midnight, they get all riled up. She would say, oh, those are just the little gremlins doing their things and whatever. But her grandma wasn't tripping. It was just one of those cases where your experience is validated. And actually, ever since that happened, I've wondered, like, why blue? Why is this blue smiling face? It appeared to me and to another one of her family members. Why? Like, what's the significance of that? And why does it manifest as... That scared me, it's a dog. And why would it appear at these, like, it's just like trying to spook people. Like, open a closet, here I am, wake up because I feel a presence, here I am. And you want to know the creepy part? Is that technically I saw it floating above our friend that was sleeping on the floor by the waterbed in between the bed and the TV. Like it was just floating there. A floating face. I'll look up if there's any information on this type of spirit and I'll insert it in here. Apparently there are some theories about blue spirits. In some traditions, some theorize that a blue apparition may indicate a protective or benevolent spirit, like a guide or ancestor watching over someone. Some believe that blue entities are not traditional ghosts, but higher dimensional beings, like angels, spirit guides, astral travelers manifesting in a visible form. Some paranormal investigators associate blue-hued spirits with cold spots and electromagnetic disturbances. Like the blue color could be a visual effect of how these energies manifest in a visible spectrum. Some theorize they could be residual energy, like if it was not interactive but appeared in a repetitive way. Apparently, in some cases of residual haunting, the energy could show up as a bluish figure due to its vibrational frequency. Some associate it with elemental or water-associated spirits, which come from different folklore and have a strong connection to emotions, fluidity, transformation, and lastly, lost souls or spirits in transition. This theory comes from some psychic mediums who believe that spirits appearing in blue hues might be in a transition, possibly between different planes of existence, trying to communicate or seeking resolution. As always, it's encouraged that you pay attention to how you felt in that moment. In that moment, I suppose reflecting back, it definitely felt kind of eerie, but not very scary or threatening in any way. It was just very much like there. My guess is it was trying to communicate something and show its presence in some way. I wonder if it was maybe in a transition or something. I really have no idea, or if it could be a residual thing. Not sure, but to be honest, that theory about extraterrestrial freaks me out because I had a really vivid, weird experience when I was pregnant with my son about blue extraterrestrial things, and it was really intense and I don't know. It was kind of terrifying, to be honest. Unlike this one. I don't even remember the address. There's no way for me to find the history of that place. Was there something really powerful that happened there that created a portal where spirits could come in and out? It's kind of just a mystery. I know that whatever happened, it was intentional from that spirit. It's one of the many experiences that I've had that just confirms the paranormal. And one of those stories that I would personally like to share, if like one of you said, if it was like the good old days where we would gather up as people around a fire and connect that way socially rather than from a distance on our phones, that's one of the scary stories I would share for sure. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Oh, one last thing. I asked AI to create an image of a blue spirit face smiling in your face with a TV behind it to try to see if it could create what I saw. And this is what it made. I can't. I wish, you wish it looked like that. You really do. I mean, that would still be creepy, but nuh-uh. So I took it a step further and I was like, can you make it look a little bit more human, a little bit more in your face, just floating there? And then it made this. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop there because it straight up, it did not look like that. That looks very friendly and cartoony. This was a humanly, ghostly, creepy, big smiled face in your face, floating. Maybe it's a good thing I could just leave it at that. We don't need to get more advanced than that. You could just use your imagination, okay? Anyways, this is Callie. Let me know. Have you ever experienced anything similar to this? Do you have any guesses or intuitive feelings on what I might have seen that night? Let me know if you enjoyed this or if it creeped you out. This is like one of my favorite types of videos to watch. Good old story times, creepy events. Be expecting a few more spooky experiences from me, including ones with evidence. And thank you for watching. See you guys on the next one.